Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of Retro Wargaming, where I will basically be playing a ton of not so well-known war games, and this one is Otherworld Fantasy, a D&D skirmish game. I will be playing against my great friend Donnie, and I hope you guys enjoy this. I have many more to come, so let's take a look at the battlefield. The battlefield will be this dank, abandoned dungeon, and the goal for both warbands is to kill the leader, break the opponent, and capture the most treasure determined by the adventure tokens. Some of them will be victory points, other ones could be traps. The first warband, commanded by Donnie, is Hobb's Ravengers, led by Hob the Hobgoblin. Hob the Hobgoblin will be leading this merry warband of creatures down to the dungeons. He is armed with a thrusting spear and comes with light armor. In addition, he has various rules that help him in combat. Up next is his lieutenant, Grom the Bugbear. Grom is armed with a two-handed axe, and just like Hob the Hobgoblin, has various special rules that help him in combat, and he has the ability to set traps throughout the dungeon. The first two minions are two lowly goblin archers, Blob and Bub. They are armed with just short swords and bows. Rounding off the warband are two fierce direwolves. They only have a strong bite and nothing else. The opposing warband is Morlock's Dungeon Horde, led by Morlock himself, the half-ogre. He is armed with a club, and just like Hob, comes with various combat special rules. The first minion is a Sinyad who has a pair of throwing daggers and a knife. The next two warriors are a pair of Zarts who just come with short swords and light armor. The next lieutenant is Weasel the Measle. He has a long sword and that's about it. One of the last minions is a fierce harpy. All it has is biting claws and a bite attack. And the last creature is Ogbarth the troll. All Ogbarth brings is a nasty rend attack that can kill most creatures in the dungeon. Hobb's Ravagers take the top deployment zone, while Morlock takes the lower levels to defend. Morlock wins the first priority, so Morlock, Measle the Weasel, and Ogbarth the Troll all decide to activate and delve deeper into the dungeon, hoping to get a more strategic position in response to Hobb's shooting attacks. In response, Donnie activates Grom. Grom the Bugbear smashes apart the door, advancing into the room to confront Morlock himself. Donnie activates the Black Direwolf, going for one of the adventure tokens, revealing jewels, gaining him 2 victory points. Lastly, he activates one of the lowly goblin archers to get a good position to throw some arrows down the hallway. On my second turn, both my Harpy and Ogbarth activate 2 adventure tokens, however, both end up being traps. Thankfully, none of them take any damage. Morlock gets the initiative and strikes upon Grom the Bugbear, dealing 1 wound. In response, Donnie sends one of the wolves after Ogbarth, dealing a wound to the mighty troll. The second wolf comes running down the hallway to help Grom, striking down Morlock with a fatal blow, ending the leader of my warband. With swords echoing throughout the dungeon and the scream of Morlock, his warband is slowly losing their morale and spirit to continue in the dungeon. With the death of Morlock, the Harpy decides to flee, and one of the Zart minions deciding they no longer want to stay in this foul dungeon. With victory on their side, Grom decides to charge the fearsome troll. However, failing his fear test causes him to be scared. No longer fearing the opposing warband, Donnie sends his goblin archer to join the midst of battle, hoping to take down Ogbarth the troll. However, in a twist of fate, Measle the Weasel decides to take command, charging one of the direwolves, decapitating its head, and making a run towards the lowly goblin archer. However, Measle the Weasel misses the target, swinging wildly. However, Ogbarf decided to help Measle the Weasel, crushing the skull of Grom and the Black Direwolf. However, taking 3 wounds, he needed to pass 2 regeneration saves, only passing 1, which meant Ogbarf, even in death, killed 2 of the opposing members. With corpses littering the dungeon and half the warband gone, Measle the Weasel and the remaining Zart fail their morale, abandoning the lonely Sinyad in the dungeon. With no major threat remaining, Hob the Hobgoblin comes out of his deployment zone, hoping to grab more treasures for himself. With nothing left to lose, the lonely Sinyad turns around the corner, throwing some of his knives towards the Goblin Archer, missing the mark both times. Upon opening the chest, Hob found a dragon's egg, gaining 2 more victory points for his team. The remaining Goblin Archer lets loose an arrow, missing the last Sinyad. However, with a cruel twist of fate, he fails his last morale, fleeing the dungeon, ending Morlock's rampage throughout this abandoned, dank hole. With no more opposing threat throughout the dungeon, Hob's Ravengers get a massive victory, netting a total of 12 victory points from this engagement. Few words about his fighting force.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Very quick, very bloody. The best part was the troll and the big fight that happened in the middle. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Thanks for the game
let's do it again, man.